Well, welcome back everyone once again to Junk Shop Library, home of Improv Bible Study. The only Bible study where we read the entire King James Bible, chapter at a time, and then make merciless fun of it. At least the only one I'm aware of. We turn today to the 19th chapter of the third book of Moses called Leviticus, which has been just such a joy and a delight so far. See what's in store for us today. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, and say unto them, Ye shall be holy, for I, the Lord your God, am holy. Ye shall fear every man his mother and his father, and keep my Sabbaths. I am the Lord your God. Turn ye not unto idols, nor make to yourselves molten gods. I am the Lord your God. And if ye offer a sacrifice of peace offerings unto the Lord, ye shall offer it at your own will. It shall be eaten the same day ye offer it, and on the morrow. And if aught remain until the third day, it shall be burnt in the fire. And if it be eaten at all on the third day, it is abominable, it shall not be accepted. Therefore every one that eateth it shall bear his iniquity, because he hath profaned the hallowed thing of the Lord, and that soul shall be cut off from among his people. And when ye reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not wholly reap the corners of thy field, neither shalt thou gather the gleanings of thy harvest. And thou shalt not glean thy vineyard, neither shalt thou gather every grape of thy vineyard, thou shalt leave them for the poor and stranger. I am the Lord your God. Ye shall not steal, nor deal falsely, neither lie one to another. And ye shall not swear by my name falsely, neither shalt thou profane the name of the Lord thy God. I am the Lord. Thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor, neither rob him. The wages of him that is hired shall not abide with thee all night until the morning. Thou shalt not curse the deaf, or put a stumbling block before the blind, but thou shalt fear thy God. I am the Lord. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty, but in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor. Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people, neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor. I am the Lord. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and do not suffer sin upon him. Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord. Ye shall keep my statutes. Thou shalt not let thy cattle gender with a diverse kind. Thou shalt not sow thy field with mingled seed, neither shall garment mingled of linen and woolen come upon thee. And whosoever lieth carnally with a woman, that is a bondmaid betrothed to a husband, and not at all redeemed, nor freedom given to her, she shall be scourged. They shall not be put to death, because she was not free. And he shall bring his trespass offering unto the Lord, unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, even a ram for a trespass offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him with the ram of the trespass offering before the Lord for his sin which he hath done, and the sin which he hath done shall be forgiven him. And when ye shall come into the land, and shall have planted all manner of trees for food, then ye shall count the fruit thereof as uncircumcised. 3 years shall it be as uncircumcised to you, it shall not be eaten of. But in the 4th year all the fruit thereof shall be holy, to praise the Lord withal. And in the 5th year ye shall eat of the fruit thereof, that it may yield unto you the increase thereof. I am the Lord your God. Ye shall not eat anything with the blood, neither shall ye use enchantment, nor observe times. Ye shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard. Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am the Lord. Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to become a whore, lest the land fall to whoredom, and the land become full of wickedness. Ye shall keep my Sabbaths, and reverence my sanctuary. I am the Lord. Regard not them that have familiar spirits, neither seek after wizards to be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God. Thou shalt rise up before the hoary head, and honor the face of the old man, and fear thy God. I am the Lord. And if a stranger sojourn with thee in your land, ye shall not vex him. But the stranger that dwelleth with you shall be unto you as one born among you, and thou shalt love him as thyself, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment, in meat yard, in weight, or in measure. Just balances, just weights, a just ephah, and a just hin shall ye have. I am the Lord your God, which brought you out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall ye observe all my statutes and all my judgments, and do them. I am the Lord. And that almost unbelievably mixed bag is the 19th chapter of the book of Genesis. Could this be any more of a hodgepodge? I mean, holy crap. We've got, don't eat sacrificed meat on the third day. We've got, don't go back through your vineyard a second time. Anything you missed, sorry, it's going to have to stay there because the poor got to eat something. More, don't take the name of the Lord in vain. Don't trip blind folks. Don't wear mixed fabrics. If you fuck an engaged slave woman, whip her. Don't eat trees you plant the first 3 years after you come to the new place. Don't pimp out your daughter. Don't get tattoos. Don't go to witches. Stand up when old people come in. And don't put your finger on the scale. Okay, I'm going to be fair. There is some good stuff in here. Okay, I'm going to start with the gleaning. Okay. Oh, I wish I had known this was coming up. I would have dropped a link to the picture. There's a famous painting called The Gleaners that I was partial to as a kid for no apparent reason. I don't even remember it clearly, other than it being in sort of an El Greco sort of green and brown and gray color scheme. Anyway, not important. If you go through your vineyard and you think you got all the fruit, you don't get to go back through and make sure you got every single little grape, because there do exist people who do not have their own vineyards. And remember, this is a time when poor really meant poor. I mean, no house, no shoes, no food, no nothing. We're talking rural, deep south, or third world drought conditions poor. So when God says, on the rare occasions when he decides to say something like this, don't fuck over the poor people, I can actually get behind that. I'm generally behind not fucking over anybody, especially the poor, but exponentially more so once you get down to abject, grinding poverty. The universe has already fucked them over. You don't need to add to their misery. Alright, so I kind of like the gleaning idea. You know, leave a little bit of fruit on the trees, a little bit of wheat in the field. If everybody does that, you know, hopefully nobody starves to death today. Don't plant 2 kinds of crops in the same field. That just doesn't make any damn sense. Unless we're talking about such a limited pool of crops that you're at risk of hybridizing, the pure wheat out of existence. I don't know enough about first millennium agriculture to know. That's the only reason I can think of why that would be a thing. Don't wear mixed fabrics. That's become one of the classic examples of dumb instructions in this dumbass book. Because it's not justified. It doesn't say don't wear mixed fabrics because it shall be symbolic of the standing apart of the people of Israel from all that surrounds them. So if you're going to wear wool. Don't mix linen with it. If you're going to wear linen with it. I mean, that's probably the thought process behind it, but I don't fucking know because it doesn't fucking say. Yeah, don't trip blind people, don't cheat people, don't tattoo yourselves. That's just another one of these obvious setting apart of this particular group of folks stuff, right? People around you get tattoos, you're to be the not tattooed kind. Don't pimp out your daughters. I'm on board with that. Now, if you yourself want to become a sex worker, that's your decision. You just don't get to force it upon anybody else. If only that philosophy was held to in more of this book, Eric Murphy wouldn't be tearing a copy to shreds every calendar quarter. Who am I kidding? Of course he would. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you haven't been watching Talk Heathen on Sundays. And you should be. Don't cheat each other at the scales. It's like, I mean, by and large... Well, I mean, this is kind of like 18, isn't it? The major complaint I had about 18 was that homosexual activity is an abomination, is listed in among with don't fuck animals and don't marry your wife's sister if your sole intent in doing so is to piss off your wife. It's the same thing here. Most of this is not inherently gross or weird or problematic, and wouldn't be if translated into most cultures. Problem is, you've got stuff that is. Like, if you sleep with a serving woman who's engaged to be married, she gets whipped, and that's a benevolent punishment. That's the lightening of the load. It says, make sure you only whip her, but do not kill her, because she is property. Remember. This fucking book, y'all. Alright. I'm going to get ranty again, and I haven't left myself time for that. Alright, we'll be back soon with chapter 20. More laws about adultery. Well, that's going to be fun. Poke the Pope to subscribe. Check over here for the rest of the Exodus playlist. Go back to the homepage for Genesis and Exodus. We really have done every single chapter up to this point, y'all. And there's so much more to come. Y'all take care, be safe, and we will see you again here soon.